Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description and it'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? Got another exciting video today. This time, almost the exact same team as before, so I did a little bit of an experiment this time around. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video or if you want some new content instead. I'm open to both, but before we get into it, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys. Alright, so this time around, the last video was Obstagoon, Gallade, and Jynx, and I got a lot of comments, people asking, hey, I don't have a Jynx, or I don't want to spend 200,000 dust to power up this Pokemon that might only be useful in Ultra League Premier Classic, and that's in the current meta with Walrein, and it maybe if another Pokemon gets added, Jynx doesn't have any play anymore. So I decided to take a look at some replacements and actually thought about this team for a little bit beforehand. Gallade kind of acts like a ghost type. Not that it does, but in terms of an ABB, Ghost and Psychic are very similar. They both have issues with Dark types. So if you swap in the Gallade, you're going to bait out the Dark type for Trevenant, etc. So Psychic and Ghost work well together. I figured I could expand my horizons a little bit, take a look at Trevenant as a bit of a replacement here to Jynx in this Obstagoon lineup. And honestly, it worked pretty well. I like Trevenant's speed at which it gets to moves. It's pretty dynamic. So it does feel like it has a lot of play versus a lot of the meta. Obviously, Trevenant, a much more meta Pokemon than Jynx. It's got some, well, I would say the stats are about equivalent, but it's more so about the moveset. Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, fantastic moves. Grass, Ghost typing, pretty good typing as well. So let's see how this team goes. It seemed pretty good to me. Anyways, first game, we have Obstagoon versus Muck. This is pretty tough. I'm going to swap right into Gallade. I actually missed the button. You want to be switching right away. You don't want to throw a move before you switch. It's a little bit of a waste of time. You want to get out of there ASAP. So this Muck actually stays in. This is something I did not know about this matchup. But to farm down, you need to use a shield. And you can't really throw a Leaf Blade here to prevent them from getting them to use a shield. So this isn't actually that hard of a counter as I thought it would be. In comes a Crobat. So first of all, I thought I already got rid of the only poison type here. Second of all, there's another poison type in the back. I hit it with the close combat. The move sneaks through, so I don't get another close combat, unfortunately. But I do have to come back in with Obstagoon and hope, just hope that Trevenant can deal with whatever's in the back. So yeah, gonna soak up those Poison Fangs. And yeah, this is not something Trevenant can really deal with in the back. Not sure how comfortable you guys are with this matchup. But yeah, I'm hoping that they Night Slash and I live. So then I Night Slash and hopefully they shield. That's my win con here. I should have thrown the cross drop because they clearly didn't shield. And now, of course, my Trevenant is in real tough here. Either way, even if they didn't shield and I took out their Goon, that Crobat would have been able to take out the rest of my team. So in a bit tough. ABA Poison really just wrecked me there. There wasn't too much I could do. That's a better lead. We have Magnezone. I'm going to tank a couple of Confusions on Obstagoon first because I know I can. Get a little bit of farm, and then come in with the Trevenant to kind of beat this Gallade. I want to throw before they get to the next Leaf Blade. So they hit the next Leaf Blade, they can technically shield and farm down. I don't want that to happen. Instead, I want to be able to threaten this Magnezone when it comes in. Magnezone comes in. I have a little bit of extra farm, so I'm going to be able to get to my Shadow Ball before they're able to get to a move to take out Trevenant. And they shield, which is great news. Having a shield advantage for the Gallade in the back and the Obstagoon. The only one thing that's going to be able to beat those are Charmers. And like I said before in the previous video, if you're seeing Charmers, you don't want to run this team anyways, right? I'm barely seeing any Charmers. I think I only saw one in like 3 sets. And yes, it did wreck me. But the game wasn't incredibly close. In comes a Roserade, and we're going to go into the Gallade here. My opponent just going to charge up to that Leaf Storm and throw it. That's really their only win condition here. But I'm going to... I have 2 shields. So I'm going to just shield it up. Gallade able to close this one out. A little bit of a confusion there. Well, actually, no confusion. That's exactly how it normally goes. Next game, we have another Muck. I'm kind of scarred. Hopefully it's not Crobat in the back again. I'm going to swap into the Gallade. And in comes Trevenant, so... a little bit scary, but this is a Pokemon that Obstagoon can deal with pretty well. So it's not too bad, and of course my Trevenant can also kind of deal with it, but not really, especially if it has an energy advantage. I'd much rather use my Obstagoon on this here and save the Trevenant for the Muck in the back. Although, that's still not that great of a matchup. So, not going to shield up anything here. Seed Bombs, they hurt a little bit, but you can tank 3 of them. 2 of them extremely comfortably, 3 kind of questionably. But I'm in the game of charging up as much as possible. I want to be able to throw as many Night Slashes at this muck as I can when it comes back in. But I don't believe I play this game very well. We're going to take another Seed Bomb. I'm going to charge up a little bit more. 100, swap into the Trevenant, save my energy for later. I really don't want to be throwing a Night Slash there. And then in comes a Walrein. So unfortunately, my win condition here is I have to sneak a move, and then I have to deny every move. And that's unfortunately very difficult, because Walrein outpaces Trevenant. Walrein also only needs to land 1 move in the 2 shield, and Trevenant needs to land 2. So what I need to be able to do is peel the shields down, swap into the Goon, and then hit it with a Cross Chop. And my switch timer will be up. That's not in question. The question is, can I sneak the moves through? And unfortunately, I did sneak, but they snuck back. So, and they actually made a fantastic catch here. We would have CMP tied, they would have shielded. But they make a catch. They didn't need to make this catch, but it was a nice catch. What can I say? You gotta admire a catch. I'm a bit tilted here. You see a Seed Bomb coming out on the muck, just hoping they're not counting as my win condition here. But it is what it is. They could have just thrown the Thunder Punch at any time. They decided not to because I threw my poor move. Alright, Charizard lead. This is a bit of a tricky one. You do have to stay in with the Obstagoon, and it is much trickier with Wing Attack too. That consistent damage, just very, very annoying. And makes it really easy for them to catch moves if that's what they want to do, because we both have 2-turn moves. I do get the boost though, however, and they somehow get a sneak through on their own move. Not really sure, probably a visual bug, and I shield up. I really shouldn't have. Shielding in this scenario is kind of not in my best interest, but this is what I like to call blinded by the boost. You're going to see my opponents do it too. Every time someone gets a boost, they just shield. Every shield goes to it. In this case, oh, what am I doing? I lose CMP tie to a Dragon Claw. If I just decide to farm down, I would have to take this Dragon Claw anyways, and I would end with another 5 counters worth, or full Night Slash, which is coming from a boosted Obstagoon would be a very big deal, especially considering they bring in the Trevenant. So if I had 2 Night Slashes here ready to go, this game would be all but over. Instead, I decide to not catch, because catching a Seed Bomb is kind of a death sentence for any of the Pokemon in the back. They can kind of take advantage of it. I guess I could have caught with Trevenant, but then it does come down to a CMP tie at the end there, which foreshadowing it may. Anyways, I store that Shadow Ball, and my Trevenant, if you look at those IVs, 15, 14, 14, it's a lucky Trevenant. Those IVs aren't great, but one thing they are great for is winning CMP, and with that knowledge in the back of my mind, I decide that I'm going to go for this KO here. Usually what I would do is I'd undercharge, keep the Walrein at a very low HP, and then farm it down with the Trevenant, but I'm banking that my Trevenant is bad enough. I got a bad Trev here to win CMP, and it does. So luckily my charge move buttons show up like they should, and I'm able to get off this Shadow Ball, take down their Trev, and get the win. That's 3 wins. This is the first set with this iteration of the team. Worked out pretty decently, I thought. And I obviously in this first set, you can see I was making a couple more mistakes, especially with the matchup knowledge, and especially against those Kanto Mucks. Terrible lead, Toxicroak. We're going to go right into Gallade. I probably should have went into Trevenant, but they're going to come in with Empoleon, so there's a couple different ways you can play this one. I like to just shield once, build up to 2 close combats, and let them rip. I think you can also bait here, and you might be able to get to 2 more close combats. And if they get greedy and try and farm down, which they will a decent amount of the time, you can actually win the 2 shield. But instead, I'm just going to play it safe. I just want to take this Empoleon down. Going to come in with the Obstagoon and just counter down. I'm assuming it's a Walrein in the back, just because that would be the team that I first put a video on. But I'm going to go for the catch on the Hydro Cannon. Really don't want to shield my Obstagoon here. And in hindsight, maybe a dumb move since it's all in the Trevenant anyways. And in comes Typhlosion. Oh no, worst case scenario. Something with the fast move pressure that can throw in the Trevenant. I'm going to throw with good timing, get the Shadow Ball off. But Shadow Ball doesn't quite KO Typhlosion. Going to have to shield. I don't get my Shadow Claw through here, which actually would have been quite a big deal. As you can see, I would not have taken damage had I gotten a Shadow Claw through on their move like the game intended. And then going to get countered down by a Toxicroak. That feels pretty bad. Just going to top left out of that one. So, yeah, that one was a very close battle too. It didn't look like it because they had a full Pokemon. remaining, but that Shadow Ball would essentially just take out the Toxicroak. Escavalier lead, not looking good in the lead department here. Another counter user against the Pokemon that is 4 times weak to counter. Going to come with Gallade, and honestly happy they're staying in. In this case, going to tank up whatever they throw. If it's a Mega Horn, they'll KO me, but I don't think I've ever seen an Escav throw a Mega Horn. Aerial Ice would be tough too, but you actually still get to this move. Going to throw the Close Combat. And then in comes Swampert. So now you know why they didn't want to switch out of that back line. We'll throw these Leaf Blades at the Swampert. Would be great if I could peel 2 shields, but somehow I overtapped there, which doesn't make any sense because no move was thrown. So despite the fact that I was clicking on the button the whole time, actually, you know what? You guys mind if I rewind a bit? Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of thing too. So you can see me clicking on the button, but somehow it sends another confusion afterwards. Kind of questionable. In my opinion, especially because overtapping generally only happens after a charge move, so I didn't really think I had to worry about undertapping there. Very annoying because peeling that last shield would have been a very big deal. Instead, my Trevenant has to deal with this Swampert, which can pretty handily. But I get a little bit greedy. I want to farm up anyways. Probably should have thrown before they got to that Hydro Cannon, but getting to as much energy as possible is completely fine as long as they don't have something that just annihilates Obstagoon in the back. This is an okay scenario, and it's a Walrein. It absolutely does not annihilate Obstagoon. In fact, it's the other way around. Obstagoon at even shields has a health advantage too because of those seed bombs. My trainer, the opposing trainer, is just going to quit out to save some time. All right, next game. Obstagoon into counter user. No, Trevenant. Here we go. Starting to pick up the good leads. This is where the luck turns around a little bit. Trevenant lead versus Obstagoon. It's all about trying to prevent them from catching. I really don't mind just throwing these counters here and building up as well, but I would love to land a Night Slash. Not like that. I'd love to land a Night Slash on the Trevenant, not the Obstagoon. Either way, they shield, which is really good for me because otherwise I would have some real trouble taking this Obstagoon down. And they get the boost. So in this case, I'm going to have to shield up if I want my Gallade to live. That boost absolutely going to do some work for them. But this is what I said. This is the syndrome. It's the sunken cost fallacy, the protect your boost syndrome. They shield up despite the fact that they're not going to get to another move before my close combat. And that shield essentially was just a freebie for me there. Able to keep switch, which is extremely important. Obstagoon will be able to deal some significant damage to this Trevenant if it ever gets to land a move, and in comes Walrein. I'm going to swap right away. Walrein obviously outpaces Trevenant, so this matchup is not great, but this is kind of the only place where Trevenant could be useful. I guess I could have stayed in with Goon and taken out the Walrein instead, but I'm trying to figure out my win condition here. Trev is going to be able to deal a little bit more damage. They are going to have to throw a move to take him down. And then Obstagoon here, they're not quite energy dry, but they're close. Is going to have to deal a little bit of damage. I'm going to throw the Night Slash just in case they go for the catch. I want to be able to slap that Trevenant with a Night Slash. And then these Shadow Claws do nothing. So it's all a matter of trying to get as much damage as possible. This Trevenant is energy dry. So I should be able to beat it to 2 moves. And they know that. So they're just going to quit out right away. Alright. Next game, we have Obstagoon to Machamp. That's the 3rd counter user of this set in the lead. This time I'm going to go to Trevenant because Gallade has that better matchup in the back. Fortunately, I'm met here with an Alolan Muck. Trevenant, not the greatest against Alolan Muck, obviously. But you can see that Shadow Ball and these Shadow Claws do some significant damage. That Alolan Muck actually lets me get to the Shadow Ball. That's kind of a big deal because if it lands, I can force switch. So I'm going to shield up. And I do want switch because I do want Gallade on the Machamp. 2 shields to 0, it's no problem. But the problem here is Obstagoon needs to be able to beat whatever's in the back with 2 shields. And it's kind of a gamble, but I feel like I have to take it for any chance to win this. And unfortunately, it is a Shadow Snorlax. The Shadow Snorlax is going to be able to farm down my Trevenant. And that superpower is not something you want to be able to take. My only win condition here going to be to try and catch this superpower. So I'm counting, and they don't throw. That wasn't even a refund. Sometimes you can kind of see it's probably a refund. I either didn't swap at the correct time or they had some really good awareness to not throw that superpower right away. So, well played to my opponent. Or poorly played to me. Not sure which one. Slowbro lead. This is perfect. Slowbro, there's been a rise of Slowbro. This entire team wrecks Slowbro. So you love to see it. In comes the Alolan Muck. That is one Pokemon this entire team does not wreck. Alolan Muck comes in, and Obstagoon kind of has to be the one to beat it. Unfortunately, this Alolan Muck is running Gunk Shot. Going to deal quite a bit of damage. Actually, I feel like that's fortunately, because I think 2 Sludge Waves take out. Whereas you kind of need 2 Gunk Shots here as well. And they threw that kind of early. Do I believe this is a Gunk Shot? No, definitely not. Dark Pulse, not quite enough to take out the Obstagoon. Gonna throw this Cross Chop. I would love to Wind Switch. It's not very important though because of my backline. And then they're gonna bring in the Nidoqueen, reveal their last Pokemon. This is a pretty obvious choice for me. Gonna go into Nidoqueen with Gallade because Trevenant wrecks Slowbro as well. The Shadow Claws are gonna add up. I'm planning on shielding once here because they're gonna get to an Ice Beam, and I'll be able to overfarm quite a bit. In fact, I would have loved to farm more, but unfortunately my Trevenant's at 100, so I'm going to throw my Seed Bomb here. Undercharging, a little bit risky. I think I've got this game in the bag regardless. Nidoqueen comes in. Seed Bomb, going to deal quite a bit of damage, but they actually call my bait. Well played. And throw the Poison Fang. No, not shielding this one. Need that shield for my Gallade. Need to be able to confusion them down. Yeah, they even get a little bit of extra energy there. I don't think they're at an Earth Power, so we have to let this first Poison Fang through. Do not want them to get to another, and in fact, the confusion damage will be more than enough to prevent them from getting there. So I believe that's another set done. Another 3 wins. You know, just steady gains, steady gains. See if we can improve upon that. Obviously, as you get close to Legend, a lot of people trying very hard. Not that that's a bad thing, obviously. It's a good thing, competitive matches. We have Obstagoon into Obstagoon lead. What am I going to do here? I switch up how I play this every time, just because I don't want to become predictable. This time I throw the Cross Chop right away, and they don't, so I try and catch the move. And you can see that stutter there? I'm pretty sure they threw the move, and I would have caught it, but the game gave a refund. That's my guess. I would love to test if this is true or not. I guess I shouldn't spread misinformation. Misinformation is bad. In this case, they counter my Gallade with Nidoqueen, and that's not exactly the counter you want to be using, but they actually go for the Earth Power. Even so, they're going to lose that shield scenario, and now Gallade has manufactured, once again, a 2-shield advantage. We'll shield on my Obstagoon this time. In fact, I'm probably planning on shielding it twice because they do have a little bit of extra energy. I thought about trying to catch the move on Trevenant, but they got refunded last time, so what's the point? If I fail that catch, I'm in a lot of trouble. Instead, just going to counter down. In comes Crobat, and you know what? A little bit risky, but Trevenant will be able to get to that Shadow Ball before Crobat is able to get to the Shadow Ball. Sorry, I just felt like I was repeating myself there, but that's a true statement. Yeah, Poison Fang. They gave up early, and the Shadow Ball is essentially all Trevenant will need to take out this Crobat, plus a couple extra. No, that's enough. Sorry, I forgot that the Night Slash was thrown. So, no extra damage needed. Ton of damage coming out of the Trev. Picking up yet another win here. Alright, another Trevenant lead. Into Swampert. Well, this one is already almost over. This matchup is so dominating, and they don't even build up to the Sludge Wave. They're just going straight for the Hydro Cannon. And before you tell me Swampert doesn't run Sludge Wave in Ultra, well, I mean, I don't want to say anything about that right now. Walrein comes in, and yeah, this is how I know it's over. Trevenant's going to be able to deal a ton of damage. Obstagoon is still going to be very healthy for the Trevenant. Their Trevenant's not going to get some sort of energy advantage by farming down my Trevenant. The number of variables here are very, very low. Going to just even force a shield, get the CMP tie, let Trevenant go down. Oh man, Gallade is going to have a field day. Even Obstagoon could probably beat the rest of the Pokemon alone. Going to swap in. They're going to be forced to swap out. And now with their Trevenant in, they can't even catch a move here, so they're going to do the honorable thing and GG out there. Yeah, that one's tough. That's a team comp thing. There's not much my opponent could do, and a lot of things went right in my favor in that game as well. Escavalier lead, another one. Going to go right into the Gallade, and there's a Charizard going straight for the close combat. I like this play because a lot of the times they don't shield it. This time they do. And if they don't shield it, you can actually win switch with a shield. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Going to get to the Leaf Blade though. And they realize that. They want to throw this move. They don't want to chance a Leaf Blade taking out their Charizard. They have quite a bit of energy as well. But with a shield advantage, hopefully Trevenant will be able to take out these Escavalier plus one more in the back. Yeah, can't afford to shield this. Don't want to give the only advantage I have. I will throw my Night Slash right away though to take out this Charizard. I really don't want to have to tank even another Dragon Claw here. And it is a Swampert in the back. I was really scared it was double fire. It said Shadow Swampert. I will throw the Seed Bomb. This game is looking extremely comfortable, but oh, that's weird. They shielded. Oh, and that's because some Swamperts are running Sludge Wave, and that dealt way more damage than I was expecting as well. Trevenant is on the verge of getting countered down slash Mudshot down here. In fact, this Escavalier coming in, I need to get to the Shadow Ball, first of all, but second of all, the Shadow Ball doesn't quite KO. So I'm going to swap into the Goon and just try and counter it down very close, but it is going to get the job done. Going to barely be able to pull this one out versus the Sludge Wave Swampert. That was the really bad lead and a pretty bad switch, right? Wing Attack Charizard into Gallade and then Obstagoon to Escavalier. You just have to have the back line. That's how ABB works. Now we have an Obstagoon versus Obstagoon Mirror again. This time we'll see what happens. I'm going to throw out 6. That's right, switching it up. You guys can't predict me anymore. Could be 6, could be 5, could be 7. Who knows? Depends how I'm feeling. We'll shield up the Cross Chop, return the shields. And unfortunately, we have some simultaneous lag, so I get out of there. I have no idea what the count is. I'm just going to switch and take a little bit of damage from that caught Cross Chop. And they counter with Crobat. Very interesting counter to Gallade. Once again, someone switching in something weak to Confusion. Really should have just thrown the Close Combat if I was planning on letting this Gallade go down. To actually take out that... Actually, would it have... It might have taken out the Crobat. Maybe not, actually. Double resisted. Anyways, gonna be able to Shadow Claw down that Crobat. My thought process was I'd be able to take them out if I was able to take them down in 5 Shadow Claws. And that was the case. So it worked out. 5 Shadow Claws will deal the damage before they're able to get to 3 Air Slashes. Okay, Shadow Walrein lead. This is a great lead. In comes Crobat. But unfortunately, I can't really switch out of this one. Well, not at least at the beginning. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to throw good timing at 10. Tank a Poison Fang and then switch. Because Gallade, while it does beat Crobat, it's so much more comfortable if you deal a little bit of damage to it first. So you can see, in this case, I can just farm down. I don't have to worry about throwing double resisted moves at Crobat. I'm going to end with a couple Leaf Blades. And unfortunately, this is the only thing that I shouldn't have thrown a Confusion straight into. Yeah, the Charm almost takes me out. Only get 1 Leaf Blade off. And you know what? This is the only Charmer I've seen this whole time. Probably kind of fortunate, but going to come into the Trevenant. And right now, it's all about getting some damage on the Sylveon. So I've built up with the Trevenant. I'm going to swap out. And my Goon just needs to get this Walrein nice and low. I need to keep this Trevenant healthy. I need to throw with good timing. And I need to land a Seed Bomb? A Shadow Ball? Who knows? We'll see how this one shakes out. Yeah, another Icicle Spear. This is exactly what I want. I actually stop attacking here. I attack once. Just make sure they get low. I love that they take me out here with the Icicle Spear. And then they come in with the Sylveon. So I'm going to throw with good timing. It looks like I don't, but that's because they lag a turn actually. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Seed Bomb. And then I really need to get a Seed Bomb through here. And will it be enough? A Seed Bomb wins the game? No, it does not. A Shadow Ball was definitely needed. So unfortunate. But the bad IVs on my Trev actually probably lost me that one, even though they did win me the CMP one. So we'll call today a wash on the IVs. 1 win, 1 loss. Bringing it into the 2900s. So getting close. Still haven't been playing too much, but play when I can. And honestly, the game is not in a great state. So kind of frustrating to play. I love playing. I love making the videos. I love streaming. But yeah, playing the game right now is it's a little bit taxing, I'm not gonna lie. Just the things that don't work nowadays seem to be more visual stuff. So the fun parts of the game, the parts where you're counting moves and you're applying all the knowledge that you're gaining in these battles to make decisions. The fun part of the game. You can't really do that as much anymore because all these bugs are visual, and you can't really rely on the information that you're being given. And because you can't rely on the information you're being given, the skill level of the game is dropping a little bit, I guess. Like, the more bugs there are, the less skill there is. Of course, there's still a lot of skill in the game, but it just is kind of sad that the stuff that made this game so fun in the first place is slowly becoming unreliable due to these visual bugs. I'm sure they'll get fixed soon, right? You know, we've been waiting only a year and a half for fast move inconsistencies to be fixed, so I'm sure that's going to be fixed soon, and then after that, all the other visual bugs, they're going to be fixed right away, hopefully. Anyways, sorry to end on such a down note. The team's pretty fun, and these Pokemon are pretty useful, so I wouldn't feel bad building any of them or recommending you guys to build them. So if you didn't like the Jynx team, maybe you'll like this one. Anyways, thanks for watching.